You were. You really were. Also, hi, everybody, and welcome to Analytical Fanboys. I am your host, the Modular King of the Content Ring. Alone, I am joined, as always, by the Morphex-powered Boingo Rider.
Buddy, stop me.
Predictable as ever. Hey, look, it's the Toy Man of Modular Media, Snowcone83. How you doing, sir?
I forgot what I said.
But you already said stuff, Snowcone. Well, the podcast is ruined now.
I was like, please.
Oh, we got a heck of a show tonight for you folks. I've got a very interesting and very neurotic sort of the weekly vibe, and I'm sure these guys have some interesting stuff to talk about for their weekly vibes. AEW had a bomber show that I can't wait to talk about, and our main topic this week is a classic 90s film that I'm sure many people are very excited to hear us talk about. But before we can get into all of that, we need to remind you that this podcast is brought to you by Modular Media, the online worker co-op of YouTubers that the three of us comprise. We are a small startup, but we've got a lot of big plans in the future, not the least of which is the Modular Summit coming up about a month from, a couple days after we record this, couple days before this comes out. By the time you're listening to this, we are less than a month away from the Modular Summit. It's kind of crazy. It's going to be November the 14th through the 21st. Holy crap, an entire week of all of us being together in the same place for the first time ever, creating as much content as we possibly can for you. There's going to be a bunch of streams. There's going to be a bunch of vlogs. There's going to be a bunch of special kind of video series that we'll only be able to do when we're all together. So I hope you're all very excited for that. And if you aren't, if you're just getting to know us, you got to go ahead and subscribe right here to Modular Media. Ring that bell in order to enable notifications so you can get every video as it comes out. Like this podcast, give it a comment, help it out in that YouTube algorithm. Follow us on the social media. We're at The Modular Media on Twitter, r/Modular Media on Reddit. And check out all of our own work. Boingo's a video essayist that I think you guys will like. Snowcone has got some gaming streams, some Instagram stuff that he's doing. That'll be cool. Boingo's also doing gaming streams.
I've decided after every podcast I'm going to do a post-podcast stream.
Whoa, late night gaming streams with Boingo Rider.
I'm already set up for it, so why not? Fuck it.
Awesome. I'm getting back into Toystagram, been posting a lot of pictures of the Matt Hardy figure I recently reviewed, and I just put out a new video a little bit ago. It's sort of a hyperbolic, insane beginning overview of the Lightning Collection by way of the first figure that was ever revealed for it. That may or may not have been done because of some storyline stuff that's going on right now. But that is neither here nor there. That's just everything that's going on with Modular Media that I want you, the listener, to be involved with. So go check out all that stuff via the links in the description. And let's go ahead and jump into our main topic for this week, which is the classic 1994 Jim Carrey film, The Mask. Boingo Rider, you put this topic on the list. So why don't you introduce it?
The Mask is one of my childhood favorite movies. It's an adaptation of the Dark Horse comic, and I say adaptation in the loosest sense, where a man named Stanley Ipkiss, down on his luck, receives a ancient mystical mask that imbues him with the energy of a green-headed freak of nature that in the movie is called The Mask, and the comic is called Big Head.
Also, it was created by Loki.
Yes.
So, Chris, when and how are you gonna tell us this is connected to Marvel?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they did do a crossover. I think. Hold on. Okay. But this was a childhood favorite. It was in my rotation with this, Ghostbusters, Blade, Evolution.
Whoa.
Yeah, that when you start to hear the movies I watched over and over again as a kid, you start to get a really good picture of why I am the way I am today.
I'm seeing the Mask comic. I'm absolutely in love with it.
Oh yeah, no, the original comic is actually very dark because in the movie, Stanley Ipkiss is basically a kind of a cartoon character in real life. In the comic, he's a serial killer. He just
Oh,
kills people.
see,
Not
I
in
knew
like a
I knew it was like a dark comic, but I didn't know it was like that flavor of dark.
Yeah, because here's the thing. In the comic, Stanley Ipkiss has cartoon logic to himself. If he does anything to anybody else, they're under real world physics.
Oh,
So yeah, if he drops an anvil on someone, they're dead.
huh. Wouldn't the
Um,
same kind of principle apply here, though?
to an extent, but not as extensively because they also really tone down the amount of violence the mask will inflict.
So, my experience with this movie is I saw it once on cable, I think it was, when I was a kid, and I didn't really take in a lot of it. I just thought it was kind of weird and out there, and the general, like, color palette of the movie kind of scared me. Like, it came off like it was supposed to be a scary movie to me as a kid. And I never watched it again until rewatching it a couple days ago for this podcast. However, I did own Son of the Mask and watched it multiple times. Like, it wasn't in regular rotation, but I have seen Son of the Mask enough that I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, technically the mask can be considered Marvel canon because he did have a crossover with Batman.
Okay.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I
And
will say
Marvel
one.
and DC are technically canon with each other.
I will say it's very strange that like I had a thought, and I'm like, man, of all the things that I'd be interested in seeing, I'd like to see like a more gritty version. And I usually don't have that feeling about it because like the only reason why I felt that way is because this felt like it was half stepping with it, and now I understand why because I knew there was a comic, I didn't know
Yo, Lobo
how
versus
crazy it
the
looked.
Mask exists.
Yeah, man, that looked.
Yeah, and here's
I
the
want
thing.
to see this done again.
Here's the thing. In the comic, Stanley Ipkiss fucking dies.
Oh.
Yeah, because the mask then goes on to other people who wear it, including a woman named Catherine, a detective named Kellaway,
Hmm.
a dog named like. There's a list of people who have been known to wear the mask.
So technically, we could get a sequel to this movie at any time without Jim Carrey.
Yes, technically, it's like completely reasonable for them to make the Mask movies without Jim Carrey.
But it's never going to happen because all the general public knows the Mask about is like that one really goofy Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah, but see, Jim Carrey said he'd like to do it again. If they did it again, but did it for real, you could have him die.
Could you imagine modern Jim Carrey doing this movie, though?
Absolutely,
No,
100%.
he's mellowed way too far out to do
Here's
this
the
movie
thing:
now.
reboot the Mask, bring in Jim Carrey to play Stanley Ipkiss again, and you kill him off in the first act, and he's the comic Stanley Ipkiss, who is a jackass.
That might be fine. But also, I don't know if Jim Carrey would want to do it because remember, Jim Carrey's the guy who backed out of doing Jackass or Kick-Ass 2 because he thought it was too violent.
No, he did it. He backed out of marketing it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Isn't Kick-Ass too?
Yes.
Yeah. How did you not know that?
I don't know.
But yeah, this is. I wouldn't say this is like one of the best movies ever, but it is a solid fucking great movie.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good movie. It doesn't necessarily appeal to me a whole lot, which is weird because I would think I should be super into the cartoony stuff, but there's just a lot of the general feel of it just doesn't gel with me all that much for some reason. Like there's a few moments. I'm sorry?
It's super anachronistic because you start watching the movie and you go like, "Oh, is this like in the 50s or something, the 60s?" And then you see a 90s computer and it's like, "What?"
Yeah. I mean, it's probably going for that like Batman the Animated Modern, and there's some classic and there's some weird Art Deco shit. I think the thing is like there's a lot of little moments that I like, but the film as a whole doesn't like get me going. Like I think Cameron Diaz is great in this movie. This might be the best thing I've ever seen Cameron Diaz in. She's one of those actresses that I've just never really understood why she's super famous. Because I'm like, everything she's in, she's just kind of okay in. But then I watch this and I'm like, oh wow, she was really acting her ass off in this, and she did a really great job playing this kind of generic female role. Um, and then like there's some little character moments for Stanley that I like when just in the beginning of the movie when he's going to pick up his car from the shop, and they're like, yeah, here's all this shit you need to have done and are going to have to pay for, and we didn't already do it because we needed to ask you about it first. And he's like, I just came in for an oil change. What the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, that's happened to me.
But also, you can tell they're not being truthful.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest note from that scene is that the fucking Ghostbusters firehouse?
Might be.
It's entirely
It,
possible, but I'm pretty sure it was a set.
yeah, maybe.
But yeah. I'm trying to figure out where we should head with this, because ultimately it's guy gets superpowers. It's an origin story, but not for a superhero.
It's a very straightforward superhero movie, especially for the time.
I mean, there's plenty of things we could talk about. Like, one interesting thing I thought about was how Cameron Diaz says something to him while he's in the prison cell, and it's like, "Oh, you're the only guy who didn't treat me like meat," or like, I forgot what she specific, like an accessory or something like that. And this was just after, like, Jim Carrey runs off and then becomes the mask in like the park, and whatever park, I forgot what it was called, like
Basically slobbles all over her.
Landfill Park. Well, yeah, but like, and like, I remember like laughing at that, but like listening to what he's actually saying. Like, one, this is not a kids movie. Like, this is definitely not a kids movie. Maybe like a soft '90s kids movie, but it still really wasn't. Because like me and Chris grew up with it. I watched the fuck out of this. You know, it came out in 1984. I was born in 1993, and I just remember watching it all the time on TV. In the coming years after.
It's one of those movies that only became a kids movie through careless parenting. Because like it's made for people who grew up with classic cartoons and are adults by the time it comes out. But a lot of parents just see, oh, cartoon gags and go, this is a kids movie. I'll let my kids watch it. And then there's like a bunch of hypersexualized shit in it.
Help that there was also an animated series.
Yeah, like, and when anyways, he's like going on about this. He's going on about her, and he kind of is like forcing himself on her. But like the shit he's saying is just like pretty graphic. Like it's comedic graphic. It's not like telling the line or anything. Like, but like he's just kind of like a dick. He's not like a good person. Not that anybody thinks the mask is. I mean, he does like rob a bank and shit like that. But it's just kind of funny to hear her be like, "You're not like this," and like he kind of is. And even though like I remember so much of this movie, because even me and my friends quote it all the time because we always sing the Cuban Pete thing in like game chat. We all the parts that weren't like hyper memorable, I was just like, man, crazy. I did like I like the movie so much more now. I think it's not like I didn't watch it super long ago, but like still like I don't know, like
You have a new appreciation for it now that you've matured a little bit and get all the jokes.
yeah. There's also something funny I wrote down. While he's getting arrested, he said he like looks right into the camera and he says, "Where's a camcorder when you need one?" And I was just like, "Oh!" Like,
Oh boy.
it's always fun to like see some like relevance, but like that one was a nasty one.
Or like in that same scene, they pull a bazooka out of his pocket and he's like, I have a permit for that.
Yeah.
It's just really well written comedic dialogue with Jim Carrey's mask.
And the way they accomplish some of the gags, it's worth mentioning, are like really revolutionary for the time. Because there's a lot of CGI in this movie, and it miraculously does not look that dated.
I think it helps because they are going for a cartoony aesthetic that they don't have to aim for realism.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'm the kind of guy who will look at footage of the original Jurassic Park. I almost said Jurassic Express. But I'll look at footage of the original Jurassic Park, which people are always like, oh, this movie's so amazing. Look at how good the CGI is, even now. And I'm like, back in 2011, I was like, "Yo, this shit does not look as good as y'all think it does now."
It holds up, but it doesn't. You can see the seam.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Whereas,
that the seams are okay to look at.
yeah, whereas this, I kind of have to look to see the seams.
And I think again that just adds to like the kid. Because here's the thing: that list of movies I said, yeah, no, these were my regular rotation. None of those were kid movies.
Yeah,
They were all rated R or PG-13. I shouldn't have been watching them when I was like 8, you know.
that's true.
I
But
mean,
like,
I got to grow up loving RoboCop, and that's not a kid.
no, you had RoboCop. I had Blade. Some motherfuckers
Yeah.
are always trying to ice skate uphill.
I've never.
I mean,
definitely
technically, I had the
Okay, Blade's
Transformers
going on the
movie.
list. Blade is going on the list.
That's fine. I've never seen Blade either.
have.
I am guffawed.
I mean, it just never crossed my path, and by the time it was thoroughly not my thing. Also, I'm looking at an article of like facts about The Mask while we're talking about it. Apparently, Anna Nicole Smith was originally supposed to play Tina.
Eh. Well, here's the thing about I never noticed it as a kid, mainly because I didn't have that frame of reference. This is just a neo noir movie. This is just a pulp detective story.
Yeah, that's another thing about it that makes it not vibe with me is like it's supposed to be a pulp detective story, which is already just not my kind of thing. I've always wanted it to be my kind of thing, but I just can never get into the stuff that people are like, this is the best pulp detective story. Go watch it, read it, experience it. And then like also I feel like a lot of what this movie is going for, just its tone and the like the more colorful aspects of the mask himself really clash with that genre.
I mean, it's going for like a swinging 30s kind of like
Mhm.
that vibe. I mean, he's wearing a zoot suit most of the movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the idea is supposed to be it's a noir film, but then this insane guy with like supernatural powers appears and fucks everything up.
It's a noir film, but Daffy Duck's in it.
Yeah.
And I personally really like that, especially because like I grew up with Looney Tunes just being all around me because my grandfather loves Looney Tunes and my dad loved Looney Tunes and I love Looney Tunes.
Hmm.
So like I really appreciate that old school kind of American animation just vibe, you
Yeah.
know.
One thing I always liked was whenever I forget what the bad guy gets the mask on, and one thing that stuck out to me in the show was like how crazy his neck gets. But looking at like some of these mask covers, I'm wondering if that's not a purposeful reference because like while the mask, the look of the mask while it's on him doesn't look the classic, but his neck sure is fucked up. Jim Carrey's neck does not get changed.
No, the mask is like completely green skin when he's the mask in the comics.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in some of these comics, like you could see how like different the neck looked compared to like, I'll try to find
Yeah,
it.
in some of the comics, the body does get changed a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure there was because, like, I'm pretty sure every issue of the original Mask, like, a different person kind of wore the mask, and it was meant to be more like a horror story.
Hmm. But I mean, also, this is something I thought while watching the movie. Did anyone else see like the massive change in like body structure when the bad guy gets the mask on and go, is that Lou Ferrigno? Is Lou Ferrigno playing the bad guy right now?
Yeah,
I mean,
I was kind of thinking,
I mean, he does have that similar body vibe.
Mhm.
is it
IMDb.
there?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Cody. It does have that kind of. Ultimately, the bad guy in the movie is the comic book Mask. That's what he would have been. It's like, no, fuck you. I get what I want.
Yeah. Which kind of makes it more interesting to me. Like looking back, I don't know. I'm just because like I had that little thought after I realized how like more adult this movie was watching it now. I was like, man, they're on the borderline with some of these jokes, and they're on the borderline with like how some of this stuff is done. I'm like, I'd like to see it a step further. And it would be like so interesting. I even had like a silly thought whenever he's talking to I forget what her name was, but like it was the reporter character, and he's sitting on like the stack of papers. and he's just like, I don't know, I'm losing control. And like I was just thinking of the Joker, and how like interesting it'd be to see like how like I could see someone like a reporter putting themselves at risk and with like this potential psychopath,
And then she
to get
just
a big
immediately
scoop.
sells him out.
Yeah, that was funny too.
I also like that because the whole movie they're kind of setting up like, oh, Cameron Diaz's character is kind of being the femme fatale. She's gonna betray Stanley at the end, kind of thing, because she's in with the mob and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, no, the person who is the sweet, like, no, you're a really great guy, Stanley, kind of person is immediately like, nope, I'm gonna stab you in the back.
And she's super apologetic about it too. Like, what the fuck? Are you a millennial? Well, but yeah, Lou Ferrigno is not listed on the IMDb, although this does look a lot like him.
It does. Like it may have been an influence. It may have been like a small inspiration because at that point in time, he was the only live action Hulk, and this might be kind of like a little homage to the Hulk kind of thing.
Entirely possible. I love how his neck is just so veiny. It's like I can picture Vince McMahon masturbating to this.
The dog is listed as
I saw that.
Max.
That's nice.
Has he done any?
He probably did because if you,
Mr. X at
Also,
2000.
this image exists. That's the sequel I want. Just like
should we
the
talk
Met-
about the Son of Mask at all?
I mean,
kind of don't want to.
it was
but I
a
think-
movie. It's not good. I don't think anyone considers that movie good.
No.
Somebody who
Oh.
like lives in the middle of nowhere who's like, all right, we went 30 miles to go get this DVD. It was all they had, and have fun growing up with this specific DVD and never watch another movie. Oh yeah, this is
Is that even supposed to be Stanley Ipkiss in that movie? I don't remember.
Son of the Mask.
No, it's not.
Okay,
meant
it's
to be
a
a new
totally
person.
different guy.
Yeah, it's a new guy.
Because I know Jim Carrey refused to be in the sequel.
I think his name was Tim Avery.
Also, just that fucking effect for what the mask looks like in that movie compared to the original is heartbreaking.
In Son of Mask, it's just a giant rubber mask. In The Mask, it's genuinely applied prosthetics.
Yeah.
No.
Also, like, I forgot the dog gets the mask for a little bit in that movie. What the fuck?
That was great because he did the laugh
What? What? No, I don't like it. It's Scrappy. It looks like Scrappy Doo.
I'm talking
Hang
about
on,
the
I need to
original.
post something. I gotta find it. I gotta remember.
You gotta find it.
Oh,
Yeah,
my God.
no, this is a good movie. I think it's a very smart movie in how comedic it is, but it did not make me laugh as much as I thought it would. I mean, I'm not saying I was like dead silent during the movie, but people always describe this as like one of the more funny Jim Carrey movies that's out there. And I went through it and I was like, well, that's a smart gag. That's a smart gag. That's a smart gag. But none of this is making me laugh. Like, I love the bit where he's like making the police officers dance and the bit where he makes those thugs like, balloon animals in the alleyway. That shit's really good, but it's not funny to me.
It's good conceptual gags.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of doesn't.
Oh, the Green Goblin in Maximum Overdrive.
Yes, that's the Son of the Mask.
Yep.
You know what? This is kind of like if the mask went on a truck. Anyways, also I'm putting this movie on the fucking list because I love
Hell
it.
yeah, bro!
But no, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like the prosthetics, yeah. That shit's like really good.
It is amazing how well he can emote through it.
Yeah, that's Jim Carrey. I think like even if they wanted to do it darker at this time, if we would have gotten a darker movie at this time, that still would have been the good pick if he would have been down for it.
Especially because he was like doing Cable Guy around the same time too.
Yeah.
I completely forgot Cable Guy existed for years before you just said that.
We're a bunch of weirdos. We like old school Jim Carrey movies.
This is like the one of those I've seen, though. I haven't seen Ace Ventura or Cable Guy or like any of the golden age of Jim Carrey movies. I've just not seen because I'm slightly too young to have seen them.
Bruce Almighty?
I have seen Bruce Almighty, but I wouldn't consider
Okay.
that golden age Jim Carrey.
That's the tail end of golden age Jim Carrey.
Are you highlighting all of these right now? in the thing. Sorry, I missed.
Oh no, I had done that earlier. You can go ahead and type shit in. But yeah,
But-
no, Jim Carrey is one of those things that like I probably should be more well versed in, but I'm just not. And I think
I mean-
maybe my odd early childhood experience with this movie is a reason for that.
Did you watch Jim Carrey and the Batman? as
Yeah,
the Riddler?
but that's a Batman movie I saw once when I was a kid and once later in my teenage years. It was not a go-to for me.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great bit. I think there's a lot of great bits in this movie.
There are.
Like Cuban Pete, you talked about that earlier. That's just fucking the best.
That was so good that it's been in like so many other things. That's one of those things that has just been like referenced in other media and probably will.
I mean the bit where the dance scene he has with Cameron Diaz is kind of amazing from just like a choreography sense, in my opinion.
Yeah. Except for the
Because
scene where
they
you can
had-
see it's the backup dancer.
And even though I only saw this movie once when I was a kid, I did know the line "Look, Ma, I'm roadkill." That's something that
Yeah.
I was just kind of permeated culture after this movie.
Like there's a lot, but also like a lot of it is reference to other material. Like at the end when he's the cowboy and he gets shot and he's going on and on about the final death scene and he gets like the fake Oscar. He's referencing and he goes like, "You like me, you really like me." He's referencing a real Oscar acceptance speech.
Yep. For some reason, I knew that as a child. Too. Like even though I didn't get some of these references, I knew they were references. I mean, I guess it makes. But I don't know. Like it's. That's kind of like a Looney Tunes thing to do anyway. Like Bugs Bunny does that famous. It's just watching Bugs Bunny now referencing other media. It's referencing other media from that time. So you're just like, yeah, I don't know what that is. So like,
Bugs Bunny legitimately changed English language because what does the word Nimrod mean?
Dumbass.
No, originally Nimrod was the name of a great ancient hunter. So when he was calling Elmer Fudd, "Hey Nimrod," he was making a joke that he was a hunter. Nobody got the reference, so everybody just thought Nimrod meant dumbass. That's why the Marvel character is named. That's why there's a Marvel character named Nimrod, because it's referencing the ancient Greek hunter, not dumbass.
My brain hurts after that. Wow.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say I do really like the best friend character in this movie because he's just a nice, helpful best friend. He never stabs Stanley in the back or is like misleading him in any way. And he's not entirely an idiot either. Like he's a little slow on the uptake, but he's always trying to help Stanley, and like Stanley will show up and be like, "Yo, take this gun and go help them," and he's like, "Wait, what? Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I got it." And
like he could have been a bigger dick because like he goes like, "Oh yeah, girl with red hair and green jacket that's awfully specific," and he goes like, "Yep, but you're not gonna get a chance to talk to her." And he goes up and she goes like, "Are you Stanley Ipkiss?" And he just goes like, "He's right there." He accepts it.
he might be a little bit more of a dick than you might realize.
Yeah,
Just
no,
like-
he is because he also
Yeah,
jumps after the mask.
he's a
No, well,
dick,
not just
but he's
that,
not a fuckboy.
I mean, like
Stanley.
he does like. I mean, I guess it's kind of up for debate, but like he kind of just forgets him at the club, trying to
Yeah.
walk in. But there's other times where like he's.
But then the
So-
next day, he's like, "We were looking everywhere for you." So I have to imagine he got through the door and went, "Wait, where the fuck is Stanley?" And
I
by
don't
that
think
time,
that's
he's
a-
already been thrown out.
I don't think that's a literal thing. I think it's like oh, I know you weren't there. Like, hey man, we were looking everywhere for you, bro. I don't know where you went, and like they know that he didn't get in. Like, he was calling out. That's how I took that.
Well, no, it's true, and I'm saying it's like just more like a couple scenes. He could have been a bigger asshole, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
I like the variety of mooks the bad guy had. Like they had a good couple looks.
And they're all very 90s.
Like Cody, you could pull off the one dude with the ponytails haircut.
Yo, I didn't even notice until that one scene where it's like, look at the ponytail only, nothing else.
Also, I love how this movie is like the second time in as many weeks that I saw an instance of the 90s doing the black guy dies first trope. Because It happens in this movie with one of the henchmen, and then it also happens in an episode of Star Trek I watched last week, where a red shirt who's black gets killed. It's a thing.
Oh
But-
yeah, I mean it's for sure a thing.
Transformers?
Listen, buddy.
No. Dude, I was trying to say.
I was going to say, is there anything else to discuss with this movie? Because I feel like we're starting to bounce about a bit.
No. There's a guy in the background, and I'm not 100% certain on this. There's a guy in the background. It's a black guy, and he's kind of got like a flat top. I'm pretty sure he's a rapper that rapped one of the songs in this, and it was a remix of the Heidi 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 Ho, whatever that swing song was called.
Yeah, Calloway, I think that's his.
Yeah,
Cab Calloway.
and I think that might be him rapping that in the thing, and like they do that in a bunch of movies. I think. I don't want to like confirm it, but I also think that that's the guy. That's the same people from like fucking Ghostbusters too.
I know I recognized the detective from Safang, and that was another character that was really funny. Just the detective really trying to be the only person who's actually serious about catching the mask in this movie and having this completely inept partner.
The partner was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, you're a hero. Shut up, Doyle. It's fucking perfect.
Doyle's like the perfect name for an idiot partner detective, too. I don't know how that's not a trope.
And this is great. There's a lot of good bits in this movie. This also just reminded me of, like, there was a period of time in the 90s where they tried to do a swing revival.
I mean, technically, Batman the Animated Series is part of that because the Joker's wearing a suit in that show.
But there was that. There was this movie, Dick Tracy, was also around the same time. There's a good number of like bands that tried to make swing a thing again. Hell, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones kind of did something like that too.
Oh my god. Do you guys know what the tagline for this movie is?
What?
It's literally the most generic thing you could possibly put. From zero to hero.
That's a good poster though.
Yeah, it's a great poster. Dumbass tagline, though. Especially considering how like loose the definition of hero has to get for you to classify the mask as a hero.
Also, I find it really interesting that for the longest time, when you adapted a comic book, you were going to be more likely successful adapting an independent comic book than you were a main big DC and Marvel comic. Because there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there was Ghost World.
Yeah. And I think that's because a lot of independent comics do weird concepts, but that are also fairly adaptable to other mediums. Whereas DC and Marvel kind of just stick to weird variations on superheroes, and for a very long time that was scary to Hollywood.
And I'm not sure about their success, but like Tank Girl, Judge Dredd.
I mean, we even see it now with shit like The Walking Dead and The Boys getting big name shows.
The Tick.
Sorry, I'm deep dive trying to fuck songs.
Oh shit.
I also find it interesting that everybody just associates the bright yellow zoot suit with the movie, and he only wears it for one scene.
Yep. He's got a variety of outfits, actually. Like, he's got the Cuban Pete outfit. He's got the French molester man outfit. He's got the robe the robe suit he's wearing in the first movie.
Oh, the smoking jacket.
Oh, that's what it is. And he's like wearing a classic pinstripey suit in one scene too.
The final scene, yeah, is just like old school gangster pinstripe, and it just looks sick.
Also, there's some pictures of the comic mask in that outfit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I think they've kind of adapted it to be the costume for the mask.
It looks like it might predate that. I mean, there's like some new. This makes me want to read.
From what I know, it's much like the Men in Black comics. It's extremely hard to get a hold of.
No, I think Dark Horse makes prints of it.
Oh, they still do?
There's an omnibus.
Yeah. It's dark because here's the thing. The reason why it's hard to get Men in Black is because it was Malibu, and Marvel owns Malibu and doesn't want to do anything with Malibu, because if they do anything with Malibu, they'll have to pay a bunch of people money.
Shit, Marvel made fucking Ultraman comics before they made new Men in Black comics. That's kind of insane.
Because Men in Black, the comic, is still owned by its original creator. So if Marvel wanted to do a new Men in Black, they'd have to go talk to those writers and artists and pay a certain amount of fees. That's why nothing in Malibu is being used by Marvel. It's pretty much dead in the water.
But also, like, Marvel, you've got that Disney money now. Buy the rights to Men in Black from that guy, or if he's dead, buy it from his family, and then get Donny Cates to write us a new Men in Black series that's set in the main Marvel universe.
But then you have to deal with the Sony problem, because Sony owns the movie rights to Men in Black.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Isn't Marvel, like, in the process of buying Sony, though?
There's no way. Sony is, like, so much more.
They could buy Sony Pictures because that's bleeding money for them.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is, like, the one thing they have, and they don't even really have that anymore.
They kind of still do, though. They're fighting.
Yeah.
But anything else to say on The Mask?
I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite movies. It is Stone Cold classic.
I agree.
Yeah, it's definitely a classic. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, it was always something I grew up and now.
It's definitely sorry.
It's also like one of those like 90s comedies that doesn't have like that one big glaring joke and you just go like, ooh, that doesn't play well today.
Even though Cody just pointed out one a little while ago.
Yeah, but it's also kind of meant to be like a little uncomfortable then. It's not meant to be like endearing. It's meant to be like, oh, you're going too far.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this movie is definitely a Stone Cold classic. I definitely agree with that. I respect this movie. I don't love it. It's definitely not a movie I'm a huge fan of, but I'm glad I went back and watched it again. And it's no longer in my head as just like that movie that everybody loves, but I remember it being really weird the one time I saw it as a kid. Anyways, shall we select next week's topic? All right, spinning the wheel now. It's a going. Ooh, look at it go and spin, except you can't look at it go and spin because you're not
Some more.
What the shit?
What?
Really? We're already doing this. Okay. Next time we're talking about WWE WrestleMania 26.
We just did a wrestling thing.
Yeah. That's why I was like, really? We're hitting this right now? Do we want to respin? Can we do that? Is that legal?
It's our fucking show. Who gives a shit? Cody?
Is it 3 hours long?
It's a pay-per-view, yes.
It's a WrestleMania. It's going to be like 8 hours long.
Which one? 26 or 36? I want to look it up first.
26. That's the one with the iconic Michaels Undertaker match. That's fucking career versus streak, I think.
Wait, from 10?
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should Google it too, because I clearly don't remember anything about this after putting it on my list.
March 28th, 22. What does it mean by buy rate? Is that something?
How many people bought the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
How do I look up how long it is? Length, probably?
I mean, I will leave it on the list if we respin. Yeah, this is career versus streak. That's probably why I put this on the list.
Yeah. But it's just we already just did a pay-per-view, and they're long.
I'm just trying to find out how long it is. It was rough last time watching. I mean, I'm probably fine. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be like opposed to doing this. I just have to like make plans to watch the recording.
Yeah, I'd say let's respin just to break it up some more.
All right, you good with that, snow cone?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, respinning. Watch it come up with like a New Japan show or something. No, thankfully I was wrong. It's Cowboy Bebop, Knocking on Heaven's Door, as suggested by Christopher.
Alrighty.
That's an anime movie to a pretty popular, pretty classic series that I think both of us have seen. Or all of us have seen. Yes. I've only seen the movie once, so be a nice refresher for me. Though I've seen the show like 5 times through.
This is also like one of those things I put on the list before Cody officially became a member of the podcast, so I could kind of sneak Cody into the podcast.
Awesome.
Because I could go like, hey, Cody, we're talking about Cowboy Bebop. You want to talk about Cowboy Bebop?
I mean, that is a good way to get anyone on the show. So AEW.
Fucking W, the 30th anniversary of Jericho.
I can't believe Chris Jericho is 30 years old.
30th anniversary. Jericho as a wrestle boy.
But no, it is a great episode, and I like that whole through line, especially with all those video messages. I saw Hiroshi Tanahashi in that first one, and I was immediately like, "Oh, I know what the Wrestle Talk thumbnail for this episode's gonna be."
Come on,
And
we
I was,
all want fucking AEW and New Japan fucking working together. We want sexy Tanahashi coming in and fighting Cody.
we definitely do. Although it's just hilarious because apparently Jericho personally contacted Tanahashi and said, "Hey, we're doing this thing on the Wrestle Show this week. You want to do a video message because I've been wrestling for 30 years?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I fucking love you and your wrestling. I'll do a video message." It had nothing to do with New Japan and AEW.
But here's the thing: if the main face of AEW, not of New Japan,
Yeah.
Tanahashi, he's their John Cena and Hulk Hogan combined.
I
Like,
would say Antonio Inoki is their Hulk Hogan.
okay, he's their John Cena and Roman Reigns combined.
Mm.
He is top dog. Everybody fucking loves him. He's great. If he continues to have this cordial relationship with AEW, he could probably speak on their behalf and go like, "Yeah, no, they're doing good shit. They're doing pretty good shit. We could work with them." Also, they got like fucking Gene Simmons to do it.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Kevin Smith, Shaquille O'Neal.
and fucking Lars Ulrich,
Yeah.
the drummer from Metallica.
And Bully Ray's message is just him drinking a beer.
What was the one? Oh, Gabriel Iglesias with Chavo Guerrero.
Yeah, that was cute.
But yeah, no, it was a great little through line, just talking about Jericho throughout the whole night and like genuinely giving him kind of a face presentation for the night, letting him be a good guy for one night.
And that tag match was pretty good. And just
Especially
that bit at the end with all the heels coming out to celebrate with Jericho in the ring, and then those credits.
in the sitcom ass music was fucking great.
And I love how JR and Tony were just like, "Well, yeah, we got to thank our entire hardworking crew. Obviously, like they didn't do the normal commentator thing of being like, how he's such an asshole for putting all the credits as himself. They just played along with it."
Yeah, I mean it was just a fun thing to just be like, hey, yeah, I saw that brand new Mass Comic 2019.
Awesome.
But it was just nice to see Jericho be like a good guy for one night, have his friends be there for him, even though all the heels come out and heal it up.
And Bubbly's back in stock just in time for the holiday season. I kind of want to buy a case for the Summit opening ceremonies.
Would it come in time?
It might. I don't know if this is a pre-order or if it's shipping right now. I do have it bookmarked.
But it was also cool to see him fight Luther because like they talk about the history of going like, yeah, no, they go way back. It was just
all
kind
orders ship within 1 to 2 weeks of your order date. So if I ordered this next week, we could have it in.
But there was a bunch of other good shit in the show, like TH2 versus FTR, 20 Minutes of Glory. Oh, that was a good match.
That was a fucking great match. I hadn't thought about TH2 in ages, but they blew me away. And then
I love their new look too. That looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It looks similar to their old look, but it looks better.
Yeah. And then I thought the wiener shirts were kind of dumb, but I am excited for Best Friends versus FTR. I feel like
I like those shirts. I like the whole concept because it's shoving FTR's insult back in their face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just a couple of comedy wrestlers. What's it matter? We're just calling you wieners. Mm-hmm. That's it. And it's just funny.
And I mean, I know it's not going to happen because they're very obviously building to a pay-per-view match of Bucks versus FTR for the titles, where the Bucks get their big moment of winning the titles. But there's a part of me that really wants Best Friends to win next week.
Best Friends are just great. They are genuinely MVPs of AEW right now. Big Swole, her match was fucking great.
Essentially being given a throwaway match and then just blowing everyone away with it was pretty awesome.
I mean, they want to get in the rankings. That was the story. They want to get noticed so they can be on the path to get the belt.
Mm-hmm. And then flipping the first off, the FTW championship got defended this week, which means it's now an officially acknowledged belt by AEW. And the person challenging for it was Will Hobbs.
Yeah, willpower.
It was, oh my God. I was so excited to see these two beefy boys smash into each other. And they blew me away with how athletic they both were. Like, I did not think either of them were capable of that kind of stuff, even though I've seen Will Hobbs do some cool stuff on Dark.
We gotta talk about your boy.
Do I know?
Whoa. Are you disappointed in your boy?
I might be. I'm very conflicted about Cody regaining the TNT championship because on the one hand, yay, great, they did a face return story really well. On the other hand, I kind of don't want this to just be the Cody belt. And Dark Order did hardly anything with the belt itself before they lost it. They could get it back.
They did a couple times.
Yeah, but like
There was
those
no big
defenses,
storyline.
those defenses didn't feel like a big deal to me. Like every one of Cody's defenses did. And then the only thing I really remember about Dark Order having the belt is the celebration that happened on BTE afterwards. And I mean, we could kind of blame that on Dark Order, but I think they just weren't given the time and attention to really do anything with the belt. And now that Cody has it again, I'm just like, well, what's the story going to be? He's going to defend it every week and get worn down again? That's not cool. That's not interesting. That's just pulling a John Cena.
There's something to be done, and I am basically holding my reservations for anything that happens until we see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, my thought would be, like, oh, Brody Lee goes like, all right, I don't have to defend this. I'm going after Moxley.
And I mean, I do like the idea that Cody totally tricked everybody into thinking he was a heel now. That now he's back and he's got black hair and he's wearing a black suit and black tights and oh my God, he's gonna beat the crap out of Brody Lee and then go on a heel run with the belt. And he just immediately cuts this babyface promo like, no, I'm not a heel. Why would I ever turn heel again? The fans love me. I love the fans. I'm the face of AEW. I'm the best happy boy. Let's be best happy boys together, everybody. And everybody in the crowd's just like, yes, that was
a good match, though.
What was
separate from the title belt idea? It was a good match.
Yeah. Oh, it was an insane match. The like that spot where they go into the table was really cool, and there's just a lot of great use of the dog collar. Like, I only had 2 problems with the match in and of itself, regardless of the finish, which was, one, every time they cut to Greg the Hammer Valentine, it looked like he didn't want to be there. Like, it was almost worse than Mike Tyson falling asleep at the ring, because you cut to Greg the Hammer and he's just like, God damn kids, fucking, what? I better get paid for this. That was the look on his face to me. And then there was for the first time ever when watching wrestling, I legitimately spotted somebody blading. It didn't have to be pointed out to me by Botchamania.
But hey, the blood made it work.
Yeah. Oh, the blood was great. It was just hilarious because they cut back to Cody at one point, and the blade is just like right there in between his thumb and index finger. And I'm like, damn.
Also, my boy versus your boy next week.
Oh, it's on like Donkey Kong. Let's just put the belt on Orange, honestly. Like, let's just give him the belt next week. Let's just do it, guys.
Yo, wait a second. Hold on. What if that's Orange's storyline right now? Is he was a dude. He's been going around and he went like, yeah, know what? Fuck, I don't give a shit anymore. And now he's in AEW and goes like, maybe I should give a shit. Maybe I'm good enough to give a shit. Maybe I'm worth it. And he goes for the belt. And what if he wins? What if Cody's a transitional champion?
That would actually be kind of dope. And then they just do a ton of BTE gags where he has the championship, but he doesn't care about it. Like he's using it to hold up clothes or something in the background.
He does what he does on the indies. He puts it in a backpack and that's how he carries it to the ring.
Also, what do you think of the BTE championship? Because that got introduced this week.
I haven't watched BTE.
Oh, sorry for spoiling it then.
Yeah, fuck it.
I think it's a cool looking belt, but I can imagine a lot of people complaining that it looks like a toy. I'll say that.
But I mean, it's BTE. It's a comedy sketch show.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Basically, long story short, Brandon Cutler introduces it, and he gives it to the Bucks, and he's like, "Here, you guys need to be more creative on BTE. Here, I made a BTE championship. The idea is it can be defended both in matches and any other kind of competition where there's a clear winner and loser. So we can have like arm wrestling or like games of checkers for this. I don't know, just go crazy." And he throws it at them, and they're like, "What? What is this?" Also, how hilarious was that shot of them looking at the TV on Dynamite?
It's such a petty fucking jab, and they're the only ones that want them to make that petty kind of jabs.
I love how their entire existence is just taking the piss out of WWE at this point. Like, fucking Brian Alvarez called them the SNL of wrestling, and I'm like, but that's not a bad thing.
The era of SNL.
But that
That
was
was-
AEW.
Yeah. So Cody, regale us with your fucking vibitude.
Vibe it up, boy.
I haven't gotten anything cool. I mean, like, I've been buying.
You were telling me about a thing before we started recording.
Yeah, but like, I don't know if I'm like vibing on that. I'll tell you what I'll vibe on.
Person brought me a drink. Thank you.
Coffee machine was out.
Oh, that's bullshit. Anyways, Cody.
Yeah, I could vibe on a few different. I could do like little micro, because like the same shit I complained about last week is still ongoing. Still been fucked.
No, that's unfortunate.
And it's probably gonna be riding that fuck way. It's gonna get worse too, especially when we're coming back from the modular media thing. I'm literally going into Black Friday, and it doesn't stop until after.
I mean, that's my one thing I'm not happy about with the summit is just like, if we had booked it maybe a week or two beforehand, it could have gone off better. But also, I don't know if I'd have been able to get the vacation time. Or back then, I didn't know if I'd have been able to get the vacation time. And then it ended up being fucking, oh, I'm going to a new job and I can't even use vacation time for this. I'm literally just taking a week off with no pay because it'll be right at my 90-day mark, so I won't have earned any PTO yet.
Yeah, I'm getting 2 days PTO. That's it. I'm taking a hard one as well. But
that's why everybody's got to watch all the content we put out for the summit, because it'll help us out in the long run.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I picked up a Star Wars Black Series Tebow and a Star Wars Black Series Vader. The Vader is phenomenal, dude.
Which one is it?
It's not the one that was released in the regular boxes. It was the one that was on the retro card.
Oh,
is there a difference?
I think they've like made changes depending on. I think they've made changes to every Vader just to make it more accurate to each individual film, because there's like 2 releases per Vader per film. So like the retro card ones are the best version of each Vader in each movie. But then there's that new Vader that's coming out with the new style packaging, and I don't even remember what movie that's for.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. I was trying to look up pictures before I bought the retro card, because this retro card wave that came out alongside the new packaging Black Series figure. And
is it Empire or New Hope retro card?
I don't know.
Shit.
I don't keep the retro card boxes because like you can't put that shit back. You open it once and then, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's like 40 Empire. I don't know. I can't remember. Whichever one Hoth is in, because like this retro card wave also has the Hoth Trooper in it, which is the
okay. Then it's the Empire Strikes Back one, and I just looked it up. The one that's coming in the new packaging is Empire Strikes Back Vader. So in all likelihood, that one in the new packaging is a repack of this one you've got.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know if you can call it repack. I think they're just like, but it was the Vader I wanted from that wave, and I found it in the Black Series thing, and I got it. I posed it with Tebow. Tebow is, I was like, $20 for Ewok. Fuck it, I guess. $20 for a Jawa. I got mine for like 13, whatever. Ewok and Jawa are not in any way fucking comparable. All right. This is what $20 for a small figure probably looks like. Probably should look like, where like they take the tiny figure and they're like, all right, give you a few good accessories and we're gonna give you more articulation than anyone ever fucking asked for a Ewok. Like, they went so hard on this dumbass little Ewok. Like, I don't even understand why. He's got so
the
many
people
cool
like
little,
you.
I didn't even. I was like, I kind of want the Ewok. This is like, I don't even give a fuck about this Ewok. I bought it because it looked neat, and like, I want the other one, but like, fuck it. I mean, it's cool. It's good. It is good. That's the stupid thing. Like, I don't even feel bad for like buying either of these, and I paid like $2 over regular price. I also got a Fortnite Big Mouth figure, and that's fun. And oh, I know. I think I built my his tank last week, so that's not even. I think that I got some sick ass fucking Hot Wheels character cars. Which other thing that I addictively collect? Yeah, English. Other than that, though, I mean, much things. I have things coming to me, but I also started playing a game called R. One of the best RTSs I've ever played.
On PC or PlayStation?
I was gonna get it on PlayStation, and then the day it came out, they're like, "Hey, just kidding, we're gonna release this next year." Cool. And then my friend Jake just bought it because he bought it on PC to play it, and I was like, "Nah, if I get it on PC, I'll end up not getting it on PlayStation. I might as well just fucking play it now. Might as well just wait, fuck it, whatever." And then I got it on PC, and it runs on my PC fine at max settings, and I was like, "I'm not gonna buy it on PlayStation because I don't need to. This is the better way to play it. I love this game. This game is awesome." One of the you need to see what it looks like, Chris, because if you took a small glance at the game, you'd be like, "Oh yes, the game made for Cody."
Oh no, I'm on Steam right now and I see it.
Yeah, it's this game is so much up my asshole that and I've also been following it for like years that the shitty art teacher in Flow, the one that I forget what his name was, Alexander. He was the photo teacher that no one liked. He, in the small time he knew me, he was like, "Hey, there's this painter that I think you'd really like based off of the stuff you make." And he showed me the fucking painter that they got to do the artwork for this game, and I had already known about the game prior to that, and that was like 2014 or some shit. And I was
Wow.
like, "Oh no way! Like I follow this game that's gonna come out pretty soon." Quotation marks pretty soon. That's like that was, and so I've just been like on it. I've been on it, like hoping that it'll come out because this game got kickstarted. By the way, this is a Kickstarter game. It was kickstarted and then made. So I've been there from like day one. I saw before the Kickstarter got started. They're like, we have this concept, and from concept to pre-alpha fuckery to like post, and then all kinds of other shit. And it's good. It's good.
That's good.
How about you, Ryder of Blungos? What have you been vibing on?
Getting some games, getting some of the free boys, getting some of the other things, whatnots. I've been trying to. I've been like, I haven't been streaming. I've been planning on streaming and figuring things out in that regard, but that's about it.
I thought you were going to stream tonight.
I am streaming tonight.
Awesome. Everybody go back in time and watch Chris's stream after this.
Hey, but here's the thing. By the time they're listening to this, I'll be streaming on Saturday. So what's up?
Oh my god!
So far, that's the only day I know like I'm gonna stream because hey, my mic's set up and everything's set up. So I've been getting some things to try and basically things that I would think, oh, that'd be fun to play and stream and do all that kind of stuff, like Batman Arkham Asylum. I found the game and I showed it to Cody, and I don't know if Cody's played it yet, but it's a free, basically Among Us with guns.
I haven't played.
Yeah, it's called Unfortunate Spacemen. But let's.
Oh,
Interesting.
it did remind me.
Unfortunate Spaceman sounds like a bootleg knockoff video game for SoftBank.
Also, okay, do you know Insomniac Games, the people who made Spyro?
Yes.
Their first game wasn't Spyro. Their first game was a first-person shooter on the PlayStation, only the PlayStation, called Disruptor.
I'm gonna have it come in.
It worked pretty good. It was on PlayStation.
Oh,
Whoa.
man, I like whatever's on the front of
Look
mine.
at that big dude. I like him. I
Yeah.
want to be him.
But like,
This
I'm going to
is
go lift weights.
but no, I've been messing with some games, doing all that kind of stuff. I did technically rewatch Dragon Ball Z Abridged, but with the commentary track.
Whoa.
Because they did a commentary track for their series on their 10-year anniversary, which isn't the whole complete DBZA, but it was most of it. And then they recently did all their movies.
Nice.
Yeah.
what other games did I get in here? So, Gran Turismo, Brave Fencer Mushashi. Yeah, PlayStation
Like
1.
Oh wow.
Wow. I was about to say, that shit should be.
No, it's emulation.
Why are you playing the first Gran Turismo?
Because I thought it'd be fun to see the beginnings of it. There's someone did an English patch for Sakura Wars, so I got that. For the Saturn. What else? Got a couple GameCube things going, like Paper Mario, Xenoblade Chronicles, and Mario Party 4, which we could play at the summit.
Yes. I have always wanted to play Mario Party and then beat up my friends afterwards.
Well, we can do it then.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just messing with some games, messing with that kind of stuff. And what else? Oh yeah, I got Quake up running today. So I have Quake, like Quake 1.
There's something about people talking about Quake that just makes me laugh. I don't know why. Maybe it's the fact that it's called Quake, and the word Quake only makes me think of Quaker Oats.
Well, I mean, Quake is the code name for the ancient Lovecraftian being in the first game, and then it means nothing else in the rest of the games. It literally just means nothing. It's just a name.
Aren't like all the Quake games extremely disconnected too? Like the only reason the series exists is to make like these games that are super graphically impressive for their time every time they come out.
It wasn't like that at first.
Yeah. I mean, the first Quake game has something of a story, which is basically, hey, it's Doom, but instead of demons, it's Lovecraft.
Understandable.
And then the second one, they were just like, fuck it, you're fighting the Borg, but they're muscle-headed meatheads.
Okay.
And then it kind of devolves from there. Especially because, like, the third one doesn't even have a story. It was just online mode only.
Yeah, but it picked up in, like, quality fun.
Yeah.
If you're ever interested in that back, check out Civi 11. He's pretty much played all.
No.
Yeah. That's what got me into, like, looking into boomer shooters.
Yeah, he did Quake, like, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Quake
he did
2, at least.
Yeah. He's done Quake, he's done Doom, he's done Plutonium, he's done Duke, Shadow Warrior, Rise of the Triad, Blood.
There's a shooter that's just called Blood.
Yeah.
Technically, like, 2 shooters, because there was a sequel. It wasn't very good. Yeah.
What's the hillbilly one?
Redneck Rampage.
Yeah.
Then the school shooter one's Postal.
Yeah, I never knew Postal was. Oh, he also did that other movie, Hell or where it was.
Hatred?
Hatred, yeah, Jesus.
That's the first one I showed you.
Yeah. Well, you showed me that, and then I was like, oh, fuck.
You know
No,
of the...
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, because Jake earlier that week had tried to show me something else of his. Or no, it was that it went the other way around. You told me about Hatred, and I recognized the guy because I was like, oh, I watched him play this other random game for some reason. And then, like, later, randomly, my friend started talking about Hatred. I was like, what the fuck? And then I mentioned Civi, and then Jake's like, oh, I love him. I was like, why the fuck? Like, how did I have this, like, triad connection amongst my friends?
Especially because it's, like, me and Jake.
Yeah.
There's, like, not a ton of things in common between us two.
Yeah, you think that, but you're my 2 quirkiest friends.
But, like, we're
You're
two different
literally
kinds
the-
of... We're
No,
2
you're
different kinds of
literally the
quirk.
same. You're the same.
I'm a weeb, Cody.
Bro, he is too. Also, you're both filled to the brim of useless information. Not even readily, just forcefully drip upon us.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, I love you both.
But yeah, no, I've just been messing with that. Messing with that kind of stuff. Trying to... I don't know. I'm now at the point where I'm thinking, oh man, I want to stream video games. And I'm going, do I want to play a video game for myself, or should I wait and try and make content with it? And it's a dangerous loop to get in.
Do it for you.
Yeah.
I'd also be happy having Rocket League's free. Give that a try.
Yeah, I got it in my library on Epic because I couldn't find it on Steam. So I'll just download it through Epic and then just put it in my Steam library.
Oh, it's owned by Epic.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
And that's why it's free.
No, I've been downloading free games from Epic Game Store all the time. Like the Abzu game I tried to inform you about, and you said, like, yeah, no, I already own that.
Yeah. There's a long list of... See, like, I also have all those games that have been purchased on PlayStation of the 300, but there's also, like, I get 2 free games a month, and I've had PlayStation Plus since on the PlayStation. So I have gotten Rocket League.
I mean,
Well, back.
Yeah, go back. we've meandered enough about video games.
I mean, well, it's interesting enough that you guys have been meandering about video games because I've been on a Scott the Woz kick the last couple days.
He's like one of those older video gamer video makers, but like 10 times more wholesome.
Yeah, he's like the angry video game nerd if the angry video game nerd was a good boy who grew up in the 2010s. And
He reminds me the most of like early JonTron, but not a shithead.
And I mean, I just find him so fascinating because, and this is maybe a bit egotistical, but he really feels like the exact opposite of me. Like, even just physically, he doesn't have a beard and he's like pasty white with no extra hair than what's on top of his head, and he wears glasses. He's super skinny. And he's got this very like stereotypical nerdy demeanor to him. But also his content is just so straightforward and so perfectly cater-made for YouTube. He does long-form story stuff, but it never feels intrusive, and everything on his channel is just so perfectly polished for its time, and he keeps improving in a way that always feels like he's got this consistent tone and brand to what he's doing. Also, I'm pretty sure he's mastered the art of the second channel, because I only discovered Scott's stash this week, and it's just like bloopers and old shit from when he was a kid that he made, and like a couple commentaries and panels he's done. And none of it is like trying to be its own thing. It's like, this is all bonus content for Scott the Woz. This is not another channel I'm trying to do. Which is what second channels are supposed to be, but then because YouTubers are egotistical maniacs, more often than not, we try to turn it into a whole other side project. And that's a trap I've fallen into more than a couple times.
We're on one of those side projects, technically.
I consider collab channels to be like a whole other animal, but that's me. But yeah, no, Scott is great. He's fascinating. I think he probably just made his best video, which is the Chibi Robo Ziplash video. Like, again, it's kind of the inverse of Megaforce sucks, whereas I just brought up Megaforce and was like, yeah, I hate this show. We're going to talk about it now. He built to Chibi Robo for 4 damn years and ended up making like the best angry video game nerd that angry video game nerd could never make because he didn't grow up with that game.
No, Scott is great. I really like his E3 retrospectives.
Mm-hmm.
They're really solid.
That's another thing I like about him, and that like I kind of want, like, there's a certain thing about his style that when I went back to toy reviewing, I kind of wanted to emulate. Like, I would love to be able to do his E3 retrospectives, but for Toy Fair. Imagine just doing deep dives into each year of Toy Fair. I think that'd be fascinating. But also, unlike E3, Toy Fair has been going on since the 1920s, and very little information on it exists until the 2010s.
Yeah. I in these weird search tangents I go on, I find pictures that are listed from like, it's like Toy Fair 1995, but it'll be like an article written in like the back of a Sears catalog or some shit, and it's like the weirdest like pic. And like some of these are like websites that are just barely raised.
I think the most notable thing from a pre-2000s Toy Fair is that video of Vin Diesel playing with Street Sharks.
Yeah.
But, you know, not a whole lot of depth, but just like I find Scott the Woz fascinating, and his videos are really easy to binge, even though they're proper TV show length more often than not. They're like 20 to 30 minutes a piece. But you can spend like a whole day watching them. Like, just sit down around noon and be like, all right, it's lunchtime. I'm going to watch a couple Scott the Woz videos while I eat my lunch. And then it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, Scott the Woz is really good at that. Another good like YouTube-y video game boy I like is a guy called Nitro Rad. He's a similar kind of vibe, but he's like, I don't want to say, he's a little bit more chaotic. And like right now, like he starts doing Halloween videos like the month before October, so he's in the Halloween video mode right now. But no, he does a lot of like 3D platformers. He reviews games mostly. Every year on April 1st, though, he does a giant like Eric Andre parody.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like on my server, if you go back in the videos section far enough, you'll probably find me just going like, yeah, no, this is what I want to do with videos. This is the energy I want. Fuck yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it for my vibes. So, Snowcone, why don't you tell everybody who you are and where they can find your shit if they want to?
Well, I'm Snowcone Reluctant, and I have Instagram that's pretty active right now. And I'm probably gonna start more regular. So my Twitch is Snowcone, not same as my Instagram, all kind. But I'm gonna start having more toy photography as well. But if you're interested in streams, and I don't know how it's gonna go, but I don't know how to but I'm playing this Phantasm. That's holy shit, that game is fantastic. If I could play
You could always like say like, hey, I'm kidnapping you, and you can just bring me, and I can set it up for you.
we will see.
All right. Well, Boingo Rider, tell everybody who you are and where they can find your shit if you want them to.
Howdy. I'm Chris Boingo Writer Gaston. I do video essay, video editorial kind of content. You can find me on YouTube at Boingo Writer. You can find me on Instagram at Boingo_Writer. And you can find me on Twitter at I don't give a shit about Twitter.
Ooh. Yeah.
And you can also find me on Twitch, which I am going to be streaming pretty much Saturday nights for right now.
That's in the morning.
That's the only kind of locked in schedule at Boingo Writer. A link to that is in the description. I'm pretty sure that can solve that in some way. And I hope to get that up and running and get a more solid general stream schedule. And I want to avoid the days that you would stream, Cody, so we don't step on each other's toes.
Oh no,
But then you can have your fans invade each other's chats.
I think for the most part, because like I'm also for some fucking reason I've ended up on like other past like like continuously. My friend Stella just like reached affiliate and she's streaming a lot, and I've been in there a couple times playing Among Us and shit like that.
Yeah, didn't I play with her recently?
Yeah, but were you on the
stream? Wasn't on the stream. I'm just saying in the general, like in your server.
Yeah, no, we haven't done anything with my server yet. But like I've been in other people. I like got randomly invited by a friend to like go play. Like they're like, hey, a couple of my friends are playing and like they're all from Jacksonville. I'm like, cool. And then it's like Jacksonville YouTubers, and I'm like, what the fuck? But I don't know. I think I'm gonna stream the way I used to stream for right now, just because like the schedule for that kind of shit is always weird. So like I'm always like, I'm playing this right now. Let me do this. And I just throw it on. If it gets better, like some of my streams got pretty popular. Me and Cole had done it. We have some like lifelong friends like watching, sending us literal messages midstream and like, hey, can I join? And we're like, get the fuck in here. It's pretty wild. One of those kids was like a 15-year-old kid at the time who was a literal fucking prodigy at Rocket, just like won 20 games and ungodly.
Oh damn. Anything else to plug Boingo? Chris, you there?
Yeah, I said nah.
Oh, okay. It like glitched out and I didn't hear anything, but your icon was lit up. Well, anyways, I am The Vacuuminator. You can find me at youtube.com/TheVacuuminator. That's spelled BACUUMINATOR. I do videos about toys and all kinds of different things. It's very character driven and kind of insane right now. I'm trying to wrap up like a couple, almost a decade's worth of story stuff at the moment, and hopefully I can get that done before the summit so I can move into the summit without any of that additional stress on me. That'd be nice. We'll see. But yeah, definitely go check out my shit if you want to. I think most of it's pretty good. You can also follow me on the social media. I'm mainly active on Instagram. That's at @the_vacuuminator. Though I do also have a Twitter, which I occasionally go on in order to promote shit. So you can follow me there if you're a crazy person who's still using Twitter. Get woke like me and Chris and stop using Twitter. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode of Analytical Fanboys. So be sure to give us a like and a comment to help us out in that YouTube algorithm. Subscribe and ring the bell in order to enable notifications and get every episode as it comes out. And if you want to listen to it on the go and you don't have a YouTube Premium subscription, we've got an MP3 folder down in the video description you can click on, take you to a Google Drive, where an MP3 of every episode we've ever done is available. You can also follow us on Twitter for updates on the podcast as it's coming out. That's at the Modular Media, and follow us on Reddit r/Modular Media for updates and other fun stuff as well. But that's going to do it for this episode of Analytical Fanboys. We will see you next time when we will be discussing Cowboy Bebop knocking on heaven's door.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Yeah.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Isn't Cowboy Bebop really depressing, though?
Yeah, it's quiet.
Awesome.